Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody can take their seats and prepare yourself for the main event press conference this Saturday night, a historic night of boxing. Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano for the undisputed lightweight world championship here at the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, live and exclusive around the world on DAZN. Thank you to all of our partners that have been involved with this event, and our co-promoters, Jake Paul and MVP, we'll hear from shortly. But just to put some magnitude into this event, when we came to Madison Square Garden and Joel Fisher and the incredible team here with the dream of staging this unique, historic legacy event, they couldn't have been more supportive. In fact, we came into this arena and said, maybe we should do it in a small arena. They said no, we said no, DAZN said no. We had to try and push the boundaries, as these two great female athletes had done for many, many years. I was nervous, to be honest with you. Jake popped up. I was a bit less nervous. But as we sit here with around 15,000 tickets already sold and heading towards a sellout on Saturday night, with nearly half of those travelling from the UK and Ireland, we are going to have an incredible atmosphere for an incredible moment. But to put this into context, these two incredible female athletes, which Jake will talk about Amanda shortly and the struggle that she's had to get herself into this position. But Katie Taylor is someone that is incredibly inspirational to me, to young females, to males, to everybody around the world, because she's continuously not allowed anything to get in the way of her dreams. In 2002, when she walked into Bray Boxing Club, before she walked in, she had to put a head guard on to pretend she was a boy. Girls boxing was banned in Ireland. And in her early amateur career, she was Kay Taylor. She had the head guard on. She had to pretend that she was a boy fighting other boys to get to this position. Fast forward an incredible amateur career, and she campaigned to the IOC to make sure that women's boxing had a place in the Olympics. She was laughed at, as she has been for a long portion of her career. She kept on banging the door down, and eventually women's boxing was installed into the Olympics. She went on and won gold. And I think the great thing about this fight and this weekend is that Madison Square Garden won't be full up because everyone feels it's nice to support women's boxing. It will be full up because it's a great fight. And that's what Katie only ever wanted, the ability to perform on stages like this because of her ability. She didn't want people to support women's boxing because it was a nice thing to do. She wanted people to support women's boxing because of their ability. And on Saturday night, you see a great fighter, regardless of male or female, one of the great fighters of our generation, in one of the great fights of our generation. And we talk about what this might do to inspire a next generation of young female athletes. And, you know, with someone with like myself, with two daughters, I look at Katie Taylor in a world of Instagram and TikTok and say, I want you to have a dream like Katie Taylor. When someone tells you no and you believe in something so strongly, don't give up. Chase your dreams, break down the boundaries, overcome the barriers, work hard, and anything is possible. And on Saturday night, it'll be a very proud moment, but not just for young females, for all of us. All of us. This shows us that if you want something bad enough, anything is possible. And on Saturday, it'll be a very emotional time for a lot of people involved to see Katie Taylor walk out the Mecca of boxing on the stage that she lives and breathes for. Anyway, that's enough emotion for me, just in case I just sort of get a little lump in the throat. We've got to bring in two very important people who helped make this possible. Firstly, Joel Fisher from Madison Square Garden. Joel, you and your team just, you sent... You guys sent a really nice email this week to myself and MVP and everybody just to say what a great journey this has been since we announced this fight. And there seems to be such goodwill in this event. You know what boxing's like. It's a terrible business. But this is bigger than boxing. This is an event where your organisation, the entertainment industry, the sports industry are all supporting this event. And this is I feel, one of the biggest moments for this incredible arena on Saturday.
It's been great, and to work with you guys have been tremendous, and to honestly get to know Amanda and Katie over the last number of months and this last week. Not only are they great boxers and in my opinion the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world, not female pound-for-pound boxers, the best pound-for-pound boxers, they're also great people. And it's just been a tremendous promotion and partnership with all of us. I'd like to make a few remarks and just say that, I want to welcome everybody here to the Garden and to the Hulu Theater. We're just 2 days away from one of the biggest fights in boxing history. For sure, the biggest fight ever in women's boxing. And it's fitting that it's taking place here at the Mecca of boxing, the Madison Square Garden. This will mark, as Eddie has said, and we know, the first time women will headline a card in Madison Square Garden Arena, a night that is not just long overdue for MSG, but for the sport of boxing. As we just said, it's been an incredible promotion, and I can't thank Katie and Amanda, Nikisa, Jake, Eddie, Sean, Frank, all of your teams, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my team, Sal and Joanne and Larry, for the great job that they've done. The support for this fight has been second to none. I've been at the Garden for many years, as a lot of you know. I've never seen the type of promotion and press and support for an event, and I've worked on thousands of events like I've seen for this fight. All of our divisions here at the Garden have gotten behind this fight. Our chairman's office, first time I went to Jim Dolan and gave him this idea, he was like, we got to do that. We're in. This is history. It's women should have their stage. We are in. So he's been incredibly supportive. Our entertainment division, our government affairs, our network, the Rockettes, the Knicks, the Rangers, they've all stepped up. The social media activity from MSG, from Matchroom, from MVP, from DAZN has just been nonstop and really engaging. I don't know if you've seen the clip that's been running, but there's been celebrity call-outs from Rosie Perez, Billie Jean King, Layla Ali, Christy Martin, Stephanie McMahon, Tracy Morgan, just to name a few. It's just been amazing. There's been billboards in Times Square. This fight is promoted on the top of taxi cabs all around the city. Tao, who the Garden owns, has made a special dessert in honor of this historic fight. The iconic Empire State Building is going to be lighting up in honor of the women, half in Irish colors and the other in Puerto Rican red, white and blue. The Brooklyn Borough president was here yesterday and presented Amanda with a citation and said he's going to light up the Brooklyn Borough Hall in her honor. The media coverage has just been so robust. Great and important articles have been written about the women. They've been on the morning show, on the Today Show. They've traveled, the media, all of you guys have traveled from Ireland and Puerto Rico to be here. I hear that we're expecting over 200 media tomorrow for this fight. That's unheard of. I've never seen something like this, and these women, these ladies, deserve it all. They're both champions, as I said, in every aspect of the world, both inside and out of the ring. And win, lose, or draw, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano will forever be etched in the hallowed halls of Madison Square Garden, along the likes of Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Rocky Marciano, Joe Louis, Roberto Duran, and many others. No pressure on you ladies at all, right? I really do want to thank Eddie and his great staff, as I said earlier, Frank, Sean, Anthony, Lewis, Kevin, the rest of the staff, and Jake, Paul, and Nikisa have just been unbelievable. Their staff with the most valuable promotions has been into this the entire way through. They've been great to work with, and we thank them for everything they've done and everything you guys do for boxing overall. Tremendous. And of course, I can't forget DAZN, Joe Markowski, and the great folks from DAZN, who I know will put on a great live stream. As Eddie said, we are expecting a sellout. There are a few tickets left, but just to think of a sellout in the current state of women's boxing is just amazing in the main room. It's going to be an historic night, so I would really suggest fans get the last few remaining tickets. The talking is done. I'm done. The focus is now on Saturday night, and the best of luck to both Amanda and Katie.
Thank you, Joel. Great words, and thank you to your team as well, Larry, Sal, Joe, and everyone. Been incredible to work with you guys on this event. We go over to Joe Markowski from DAZN. Joe, I mean, I think when we made this fight, you were so excited. I think we have to be honest, we never felt it would be this big. And we're here, you guys expecting a huge viewership at the weekend, a major moment for the platform once again.
Yeah, and I have to give you and Matchroom credit for the investment and the focus you've made us put on women's boxing over the last 4 years since we got into business together here in the States. This fight, I think, transcends boxing. And very few boxing fights do that. The Canelo Alvarez's, the Anthony Joshua's, they transcend boxing. Occasionally, Jake Paul to your left, he transcends boxing for different reasons. But this fight is transcending boxing for a number of reasons. The ingredients in this fight are quite remarkable. And Joel's spoken to them eloquently there. The involvement of the pound-for-pound 2 best fighters in the world, the hosting at MSG, yourself and the efforts you make, the efforts of MVP. This is reflective of a broader trend in sport. People are starting to realize that women, when they're given the platform, the marketing, the PR polish that their male counterparts get, the eyeballs come. And when the eyeballs come, people are entertained and amazed by what these athletes do. This is long overdue, as Joel said, and we're seeing across our sports globally a real growing interest in women's sport. We've seen it in soccer. We've seen it in tennis. We're now, thank goodness, seeing it in boxing. So, yeah, they deserve this opportunity, and it's a great opportunity for all of us to maximise on.
I've talked this week about the importance of women's boxing delivering, though. I know that a lot of broadcasters feel that they should support women's sport, and of course that's right, but it's very different, isn't it, when a big female fight like this starts delivering in terms of subscribers, huge viewership, because to have sustainability and longevity in a product, we need to see those numbers come through. And we're seeing it this week. We're seeing it translated through ticket sales. We'll see it through viewership and subscription to a point where you will be asking us, when's the next big female fight? And that's the way to create longevity.
You're right to say the small room's not appropriate for this event. It's the appropriate venue for the press conference. You're right. When you give this kind of event the platform and the marketing, it attracts huge eyeballs. We are not in the business of doing the right thing and using our resources to do the right thing. It's not a PR or a CSR project. This event will grow our business, and we'll want to see more of them, male or female. It doesn't matter. We want to see more fights of this scale. The attendance of the media, the interest of the fans, every metric we look at suggests this is trending to be a huge fight, and we're very proud, frankly, to be broadcasting it globally.
Well, thank you as always for your support this week, and of course next week, huge Canelo Alvarez against Dimitri Bivol fight in Las Vegas. We turn our attention now to talk to the team of Amanda Serrano, a young man to my left who, picked up the mantle as our co-promoter in this event. Not just saying it because I'm about to introduce him, but it's been a pleasure to work with you, Jake. I know a lot of people felt that how would you approach this in your normal jovial way, but you've been incredibly professional. You've come with a great mindset with Nikisa to just work together with us, the Garden, with DAZN, to make this an event that people will remember for a long time now. Now we're getting to the fun part. We can be the cheerleaders at the weekend and a couple of days away from, I guess, an event that, we all hoped would get to these kind of levels, but even fascinated us to see just how big this fight is on Saturday.
This feels like a, unification of the heavyweight division. This is massive, and just, wearing my promoter hat, I think if this fight happens again or one like it, we're going to have to get these ladies even more of a payday, because I've never seen this amount of media at any fight, I'm talking, 8 figures. This is what it feels like, and they deserve it. And I'm so excited for this fight, first and foremost, for that first bell to ring. These ladies are going to put on a show and change history here at Madison Square Garden. Honored to be a part of it. I want to thank Christy Martin and Layla Ali for really making this possible and paving the way for Amanda and Katie. And obviously for what Katie has done for the sport is just incredible, and pushing, alongside of you to grow female boxing. I cannot wait. And Amanda Serrano is ready. When I first, met Amanda, 7-division world champion, getting paid $10,000 for a fight. To think that we are here a year later is massive, and that's because of the supporters. That's because of the platform that we've built, and that you've built, and that Amanda's built, and that Katie's built to push this narrative forward. And it's the young ladies out there who are supporting these women. And I want to call on the women right now to be a part of Saturday night, to tune in, to watch, to buy the pay-per-view, to support these ladies, because that's what this fight needs. We need to prove that the business side of this can sustain, so that women's boxing can continue to get big paydays, continue to drive forward, and continue to be equal in all aspects of the sport. So if you're, a woman out there watching this, tune in Saturday night to support these ladies. They've worked their whole entire lives to sacrifice and dedicate themselves to this moment. So please, you're doing a good thing by tuning in Saturday night. And thank you so much for letting me be a part of this event.
Jake, I know now your involvement in boxing. You're desperate for Amanda to win on Saturday night. Just a quick word on the fight. You're fully confident that your charge will be victorious and become undisputed lightweight world champion?
More confident than you are.
Really? I don't think so.
I got a bet for you, Eddie.
I'm not having a tattoo.
I'll bet you all the jewelry that I'm wearing right now that Amanda wins the fight.
I was hoping to bet for a lot more than that.
Well, then let's put it on.
I mean, 10 grand's not a lot.
This is 500K.
We'll talk.
500K.
We can have a bet. Me and you can have a bet. I think we got
I
head
just
off
proposed
with Ariel, right?
Oh, I just proposed it.
Really? I want to see those
500K.
500K?
500K dripping right now.
Okay. Maybe we can talk about $1 million, but we'll have a chat.
Let's do $1 million.
Okay. We'll talk. I know about your bets. I know. Oh, something's falling over down there.
I bet Amanda wins for $1 million.
Okay. We'll get that together. We'll get it together. Don't worry.
You're not shaking my hand.
Don't worry. We'll get it together. Actually, we're the underdogs in the fight, apparently, with the bookmakers.
Come on.
We'll talk.
I'll meet the odds makers' odds too.
You don't need to. You're the favorite.
$1 million plus odds.
You're the favorite in the bookies.
Regardless, let's do it. Okay. Let's shake up on it. Let's go.
Anyway, we'll get that papered up because I'm not sure about you.
$1 million bet. Let's go.
Nikisa?
No pressure, Jake.
Nikisa, you look a bit more worried about papering that bet, but on a serious note, you want one as well? Okay, on a serious note, what a great event to be involved with. We're here now, just a couple of days away. Thank you to you and your team for working tirelessly, particularly with Sean Palmer and the like. Couple of days away, big moment for MVP and Amanda Serrano.
Absolutely. We started this journey with you, Eddie, a little bit over 2 years ago when Jake made his debut on DAZN, where he was the co-main on a Thursday night. And to think a little bit over 2 years, Jake is sitting next to you and we're putting on the biggest women's boxing event in history is an honor, it's a privilege, and it's a trailblazing moment for Amanda, for Katie, but for women's boxing as a whole. I had the privilege of being there when Ronda Rousey made her debut at the UFC, and she allowed for that sport, or her performance allowed for that sport to embrace women's MMA, and I feel that Amanda and Katie have that opportunity here. And I'm very confident that they're going to put on a show that the world is going to be talking about for many, many, many weeks post-event, and it will result in additional opportunities to do things like this for women's boxing.
Thank you for all your support on this fight. Before we go to the fighters, Ross Enemet, a couple of words from you. I thought Jordan was coming up here, but a massive moment for you. You've worked tirelessly behind the scenes with Katie Taylor. Business as usual, I guess, from you guys. You're never a team to be outspoken. You always take care of business and handle it in the right way. And I know I don't want you to say it's just another fight, but I kind of get the feeling that it's a massive fight, but business as usual for Team Katie Taylor this Saturday.
It's business as usual. We've been here before. Katie thrives under the bright lights. We're not going to sit up here and talk about bets. We're coming to fight. It's a real fight. So we can sit up here and joke, but Katie's ready. I've never been more confident in her. Everybody says they had a great camp. We had a phenomenal camp. She hasn't looked better. She's had phenomenal sparring, and she's ready to put on a show on Saturday.
I've seen that in the clips, particularly, you know, when I look at all the work DAZN have done and the work our social media has done, just looks like something different. People talk about the last couple of fights. We know they weren't really fights that she was overly motivated for. I know she trains always to the top of her potential, but the eye of the tiger in this fight, this is the moments that Katie Taylor lives for.
Great athletes step up when it matters, and Katie's a great athlete. She's special, she's unique. She's never ducked a challenge. We have fought everybody. Persoon twice, Leonardatown, McCaskill. She goes after everybody. So as big as the event is, it is just another fight because we've been here before. Katie's gonna go and show the world what she's all about on Saturday.
Great words. Amanda, welcome. You two have been incredible this week and in the whole preparation for the fight. Obviously, the media has been out of control. You've embraced it, you've enjoyed it, you've had a great training camp. And on Saturday night, in front of huge support for yourself as well as Katie, just a moment in time for women's boxing, but obviously a moment in time for your career as well. And I'm sure you're ready to go 2 days out.
Definitely. I mean, it's been a long time since, it's finally happened. We're getting up our shine. Thanks to all of you guys. Madison Square Garden couldn't ask for a better place. So to make history once again, sitting here, I made history. I won my Golden Gloves here at the Hulu Theater, and I made history on DAZN with you guys, becoming a 7th Division World Champion. And I plan to do the same thing at the Big Gardens. My first fight there. But I shine under pressure. I'm just excited to go out there. I train hard like I always have in every fight. You know, all my opponents, I never underestimate them. I know Katie Taylor is a true champion. She's undefeated and undisputed for a reason. But one of my goals is to become undisputed champion, and she has that. And I'm going up once again 2 divisions to face the best fighter and one of the best fighters in the world. But I'm ready. And then, yeah, I can't wait to Saturday night to prove that we're deserving of these opportunities, of this spotlight. Just everything all together, you know. It's been an amazing, long journey getting here to fight Katie Taylor. I mean, leading up to this fight, but I think timing is no better than right now. I mean, I just can't wait for Saturday night. I'm so looking forward to Sunday, being undisputed champion.
And just finally, Amanda, I know that, you know, this is groundbreaking. This is opening so many doors for female athletes, and it's so inspiring, but it comes down to the fight on Saturday night. That's what you've done your whole career. That's the only thing that matters now. How desperate are you to be victorious on Saturday night and take all these belts back to Brooklyn and Puerto Rico?
Definitely. I mean, it doesn't matter what we say. I mean, we're probably like the 2 nicest fighters. There's no bad talk between me and Katie Taylor because the fights are won inside the ring, not outside. We don't need to talk bad about each other. Our accomplishments got us where we're at right now. We're making history together, and I couldn't be happier than to share that ring with Katie Taylor. But yeah, I mean, 13 years as a pro fighter, I've struggled. I've fought my way to this spot right now, and I want to go out there and just secure that victory. And you know, no matter what happens Saturday night, I think the real winners are the fans and women in general in the sport of women's boxing, because it's only going to grow from now on.
Katie, I know that you're always cool as a cucumber, and like Ross, it's just another fight, but has it even surprised you this week in the build-up to this fight and seeing everybody here today? You must be very proud. I know that all you want to do is win, but this is a moment that you have created and Amanda's created as well, but I can't believe the size and magnitude of this event this Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely am very, very proud of this event. This event definitely does feel different. Just seeing the amount of media today, looking at the amount of media that we actually had to do all week as well. I'm sick of talking about myself, but it's been an amazing week, and definitely very, very different to how I started boxing as a 9 or 10-year-old, where I actually had to pretend, like I said, to be a boy to actually get fights. Women's boxing wasn't even a sanctioned sport in Ireland. Now here we are many years later, headline in Madison Square Garden, the most iconic venue in boxing. making history as the biggest fight in female boxing history. This is just incredible, and this is all the sacrifice that have been worth it for sure.
When you go into a fight like this, an event like this, and you look at the sacrifices that you made, I remember when you came to the office, and I bought into your dream, but I always used to say to you, one day you'll headline Madison Square Garden. I didn't really believe it, but we got there. And did you believe it? I mean, all those years with you, I remember when you debuted in 6 rounds at Wembley in November 2016, I believe it was. And we put you as main event, and everyone laughed and said, what's going on, And I always just felt, you just got to watch. Just watch Katie Taylor and you'll be a believer. Have you just felt that if you got the platform, if you got the opportunity to showcase your skills, nights like this would happen?
Absolutely, and you're seeing the fact that this is going to be a sellout on Saturday night. There is a great appetite out there for big female fights. This is very, very special because it is the best versus the best. It's champion versus champion, and this is just a great boxing match. This isn't just the best, female boxing match in the world right now, but probably the best fight you can see right now, male or female. And on Saturday night, we're going to put on an absolute showcase for the sport.
Legacy aside, history aside, just win. That's the aim on Saturday night. It's what you've always done. You believe that when you wake up Sunday, these belts will still be in the hotel and you'll still be the undisputed lightweight world champion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't train to lose any fights. I train to win, and it's the same for me on Saturday night. I'm stepping in there confident that I'll be coming out victorious. But the best part about this fight, the best part about my whole legacy is just being able to inspire the next generation. And this fight on Saturday night is going to inspire a lot of young girls. And that to me is just the best part about this.
Well, thank you so much for everybody for coming out. We are going to have questions to the floor quickly before we pose for a head-to-head. There's a microphone coming around. Please don't talk till the microphone is presented to you. Raise your hands if you have a question, please.
Yeah, thank you, Eddie. It seems like a 50-50 fight here. Is there a rematch clause here? Can you maybe let us know? Maybe this could be a 3-fight trilogy going forward. I mean, it seems like a very well even fight. Can you shed a little light on that, please?
All the focus is on Saturday night. I think whenever there's a good fight, and if the numbers add up, you'll see the rematch. No immediate plans for that, but obviously we've seen this as a huge fight. Might be the biggest fight for them next, might be the biggest fight for them the one after, but just the focus on Saturday night. Raise your hands, please.
Cole Whiston from Boxing World Weekly. Eddie, my first question is for you. Now that we've reached fight week and you're sharing the stage on Saturday night with Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson, how happy are you with how this promotion is going? And it is definitely the most talked about event this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every time I talk about that fight, I give it promotion. But on a serious note, I told ESPN, I told Bob Arum publicly, Jake did as well, it is a massive mistake going on the same night. We were announced, we were on sale, and they still chose to go on the same night. And, you only have to see the media attention here today. And Stevenson against Valdez is a great fight, but it's not Taylor Serrano. It's not selling 18,000 tickets. It's not going to be driving subscriptions and viewership around the world like it will, but it's a great fight. And, I think sometimes there's media outlets here today that aren't supporting this fight for different reasons, but they're few and far between. This fight has all the recognition for, yes, being the biggest female fight of all time, but also a standalone fight in boxing between the undisputed world champion and a 7-division world champion. Katie hit the nail on the head perfectly. One of the best fights in boxing that can be made, regardless of male or female.
But I think it's important to add that DAZN is taking a leadership position here and ensuring that the two fights don't overlap with each other. So as a boxing fan, you're going to subscribe and watch on DAZN, and then if you want to watch the other fight, that's going to come on after the fact, right? So there's no overlap here, and it gives you the opportunity to ensure that you can watch both fights.
Yeah.
Guys over here. This is for Katie and Amanda. We've talked a ton about how important this is just for the sport of women's boxing. Do you feel like the fight itself, what we're expecting for Saturday, is getting lost in it? And what are you expecting from the fight itself on Saturday? Katie first.
What am I expecting from the fight?
Yeah, and is the fight itself getting lost in just the discussion of what else it could mean for the sport as a whole?
What's the question?
What are you expecting from the fight?
Oh, what am I expecting? Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be, I think stylistically, the fight is going to be a very, very exciting fight. I think the winner is going to have to show a lot of heart, a lot of grit, a lot of skill. And it's going to be a combination of all those things. And I just think you're going to see great boxing on Saturday night.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see great talent out there. You two of the best going at it. And so you're going to see his heart, glory, lots of punches. And you're going to just enjoy a great night of boxing. It's not just female boxing, but you're going to see skills. You're going to have a great night of boxing.
The other Jake Donovan, BoxingScene.com. I have a similar question for both of you. Amanda, when this fight didn't happen 2 years ago, how confident were you that it would eventually come back around and on your terms?
Well, you guys would not let us not have this fight, because every question after my fight or her fight was always, how about Serrano? How about Katie? And, you guys would not let us not have it. But I was pretty confident the fight was going to happen, but not at this magnitude. Once Jake Paul put his name on it, it just flew off the roof, which is, I'm truly honored and blessed for that. And Katie too, we're making our biggest payday. We're at the mecca of boxing, so it's super exciting.
Thank you. And then Katie, similar for you, I know you were frustrated when it didn't happen 2 years ago. You still had some amazing fights since then, but do you appreciate just like the magnitude of like this fight happening now as opposed to, 2 years ago, right after the pandemic?
Yeah, it's definitely bigger now than it ever was before. And a couple of years ago, we were going to fight during the pandemic in Eddie Hearn's backyard, where there was no people were going to be there, an empty arena, an empty backyard. And so here we are in the most iconic venue in boxing. It's going to be an absolute sellout. So I'm very, very grateful right now that fight didn't happen a couple of years ago. But there was a time where I was thinking, gosh, this fight isn't going to happen. And it would have been an awful shame if it didn't happen, because it is the best versus the best, like I said. So I'm very, very grateful. Yeah.
Okay, last question, and then we'll post head to head.
Hans Temmerstow, BoxingInsider.com. Eddie, questions for you. If Katie was to pick up the win on Saturday, do you think that she should be considered the greatest female fighter of all time?
I think she should already be considered the greatest female fighter of all time, for many different reasons, actually. Because of the legacy that she created in terms of convincing the IOC to install women's boxing into the Olympics, from winning 5 world championships as an amateur, 6 European championships, Olympic gold in London, coming through, becoming world lightweight champion, undisputed lightweight champion, moving up and winning another world championship at 140 pounds. For me, she would always be the greatest female fighter of all time. But these are the kind of fights that secure that legacy and leave no doubts in people's minds. And I believe she'll be victorious on Saturday night in a brilliant fight. And I believe the legacy will roll on. Right, guys, thank you so much. We're going to break for a head-to-head here. Don't forget the weigh-in here tomorrow at the Hulu Theatre. Going to be a huge crowd in here for the weigh-in, and don't forget to tune in live on DAZN on Saturday night. Jake, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Don't forget about the bet as well.
No problem.
And when Amanda wins, I'm giving your $1 million to her. So just want to put that out there.
Well, Jake Paul makes things interesting, doesn't he, Claudia?
Always, always. There's always something up his sleeve, and I'm so excited because there's that little wager, even though it's among
It's
promoters.
not little.
I'm just saying. I'm being kind here. The wager.
Yeah.
It makes it interesting because now everybody has skin in the game. I mean, and Jake has always been extremely benevolent, and he always looks after the people that are fighting in the undercard. I don't know if people know this, but he shares his purse.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I've made enough money, now I'm going to share my purse.
A couple of things stand out from that main press conference. We're going to have Eddie Hearn up here as well, so we'll pick his brain on some of the stuff that was spoken about. But between the Garden chairman, Joe Markovsky, the head of DAZN, talking about how this fight will transcend boxing, not women's boxing, boxing.
When was the last time you and I sat on a table like this and said, this is the best facing the best? That's all I'm saying.
Doesn't happen often.
No.
And this is truly 1 versus 2, not at 135, but in the world.
Yes.
In women's boxing.
Yes.
With Katie Taylor and the real deal, Amanda Serrano, who you see right there. And I'd be remiss if we didn't touch on, because of where this fight is happening here in New York City. From the moment Amanda Serrano saw that Daily News Golden Glove ad in the paper babysitting her nephew while her sister Cindy was training in Brooklyn, where that kind of piqued your interest to try and get started here.
I'm getting goosebumps.
The room that she won the Golden Gloves in, the room we're standing in right now, and now finally headlining in the arena that is called the world's most famous arena, but it is also her hometown venue. This is a terrific peak and a terrific climax to the story of Amanda Serrano.
Absolutely, and not just of Amanda. And we mentioned how this fight transcends the sport itself. This is literally 2 ladies showing our young women and men, to tell the truth is, telling all our youth, whatever you dream of, you can make it happen. It might take a day or two, a lot of work, a lot of hard work and dedication, in Floyd Mayweather's best words, but it can be done. And that's one of the messages that has come through from day one. The day they actually announced this fight, they've always said this. We dreamt of this situation. We dreamt about this opportunity. It came about. Now we're going to seize it. So yes, we can always speak about a win.